What's going on, everybody? My name is C4. Welcome back to the channel, and today we're for a brand new Madden 26 realistic rebuild, and we have rebuilt every team that has not made the playoffs. And I'm not trying to make this video as a slight to the Carolina Panthers, but I'm going now with the teams that probably aren't going to make the furthest journey into the playoffs as I'm recording this before the playoffs actually do start. It was between the Panthers and the Packers. No offense, again, all due respect. Hope you guys play well. If you get an upset, none of you guys playing the Eagles. Don't care. Go for it. But I think the Panthers, as always, when we think back to the history of this channel, it'll be a tiebreaker for me wanting to rebuild who first. Take a look at the Carolina Panthers. Interesting team, man. Not as much salary cap as you would expect. We had a breakout running back situation, which just kind of made this room incredibly ugly. Because this is a room that you have Jonathan Brooks, still from a Madden standpoint, I think still from a real-life standpoint, has a lot of upside. And then you pay Chuba Hubbard, which I'm going to be always biased on that situation as a Canadian. But you have Chuba Hubbard, and then you get Rico Dowdle on the one-year deal, have a breakout. Dowdle is in a contract year, but you already have Chuba Hubbard and Jonathan Brooks committed long-term to this running. It's very weird, and we don't have enough salary cap to probably extend Rico Dowdle, which is weird because there was like, a month that he was the best offensive player in the league, it felt like. Wide receiving room, you got to feel optimistic about even going down. You got Horn Jr., the rookie with a dev trait. Obviously, Legette's kind of been disappointing, but you still hope that there's a chance he figures it out. Jalen Coker's been solid every time he's been called upon. And then you have T-Mac, Tetairoa McMillan, who... Well, obviously, we were past the regular season. I still got to play one game here, which I will explain in a second what we're going to do. T-Mac hit 1,000 yards. And you hit 1,000 yards as a wide receiver. That's pretty much the barometer of a successful season. You hit 1,000 yards as a rookie wide receiver. That is a very good season. You hit 1,000 yards as a rookie wide receiver with Bryce Young, all due respect, as your quarterback. That is a sensational season. And I think as soon as that draft card came up, if you would have told Panther fans T-Mac gets 1,000 yards, they would be over the freaking moon. Now it comes down to Bryce Young. I think this is probably why I want to do this rebuild first over the Green Bay Packers, because I think there's a little bit more security with Jordan Love on the Packers than there is with Bryce Young on the Panthers. I think Bryce Young making this playoff push has secured at least another year of them trying to figure out if he's their franchise quarterback or not. It's just a consistency issue, man. There was, and I saw it firsthand 2 years ago. Bryce Young came to the Philadelphia Eagles at the link and almost single-handedly carried the Panthers against a Super Bowl winning defense that destroyed Patrick Mahomes in the Super Bowl. Bryce Young was unstoppable. I saw the upside. I saw the ceiling. We've seen it this year as well. I remember when they beat the Rams. I was like, oh, okay, they're going to finish the year out strong, and they could beat something. And then did they lose to the Saints or something like that? Just a terrible there's just been no consistency with Bryce Young, and that's very frustrating when you have a quarterback that when he plays really well, you go, that's our guy. And then when he plays real bad or shows up, one touchdown, 2 picks, barely over 100 yards, and I got to have a game, then you start to feel like, do we really want to pay $100 million to that guy? So that is the biggest question for this whole rebuild, is what do we do with Bryce Young? But making the playoffs and the chemistry they had with T-Mac, I'm going to give him a chance, obviously. Defensively, well, from a rebuild standpoint, this is where a lot of our investment is going to have to go. You did luck out a little bit from a Madden dev trait standpoint. Uman Malayan and Scarton both have dev traits. Derek Brown's a superstar. Got to make sure we keep that superstar dev. Don't want to be missing out on that. So you feel decent about the defensive line. Linebacking core, Roseboom's made some couple plays. Wallace is a great athlete, but there's still definitely a question mark across the board. We definitely don't have no Luke Kuechly and Thomas Davis situation here at linebacker. The safety room, you did get Morig from the Raiders, 81 with a dev trait. I think Ransom was kind of solid this year for you guys as a rookie, but secondary is a question mark. Jackson's made a couple plays. You got obviously the Horn Dog, going way back to our Panthers main franchise, where we used to get 10 picks a year with Jaycee Horn. Awesome player, one of my favorite. I'll put in the Sion's chest. Absolute dog. When the Panthers were not that great, I wanted Philly to trade for him so bad. I'm a big fan of Jaycee Horn. But, A lot of work needs to be done. Even though this team made the, and I think there's credit to be had. I'm kind of down in the dumps. Like, I don't really know about Bryce Young. This defense has a lot. This team made the playoffs. Like, this is not necessarily a playoff team on paper. And the fact that they were able to make the playoffs, now me coming into control as the general manager and trying to, with realistic 2026 and 2027 draft classes, I think we can do something here. So, this game here, the Carolina Panthers lost, and then you had the Saints and Falcons. You had the Falcons win, and that ended up having the tiebreaker. I don't know if Madden is going to have those tiebreakers correct. So just to ensure that, like, we make the playoffs, we're going to win this game against Tampa. I'm going to force this win against Tampa. I also need like 130 yards for T-Mac to get his 1,000 yards because the Madden start today is week 16. So I just simmed week, the Bucs win and the Seahawks lost there. So that's what we're going to do. It's going to look a little bit different because I could just see for whatever, all things Madden. I have the exact record of all these playoff teams. It should look good for the most part. And then it still just gives Tampa the tiebreaker somehow. So we're going to beat Tampa. I'm going to air the ball out to T-Mac to get him his 1,000 yards. And then we're going to go on this playoff run. Actually, let's do some contracts first. $83 million. Ike Ekwonu. He's kind of figured it out a little bit at tackle. So we are going to give him a mega contract extension. We have Corbett's been solid. I think Coker at wide receiver. That's another guy that you really want to, let's like lock in here for sure. I think high-end wide receiver 3. Like, I think you can go. I have more faith that he'll kind of catch on than legit will. Taylor Moton at tackles actually like graded up pretty well by PFF this year, by the PFF nerds. So even though he was way back when turnstile Moton, we'll give him that offer now. We're going to have to wait all the way to the right before free agency. But I think we'll come in with a competitive offer to try to return Mr. Moton. I mean, outside of that, there's some cool depth guys and stuff like that are solid, but not necessarily players we want to commit a lot of money to. And the big question is Rico Dowdle. We just can't have. We have an expensive running back room. We can't. You know, I'm gonna view the Rico Dowdle and Chuba Hubbard's a good 1-2 punch. Well, I'm gonna have a pretty good 1-2 punch next year with Chuba Hubbard and Brooks. All right, so we go through the week. Honestly, I will say I was at probably 300 yards and 2 touchdowns when I just simmed out the rest of the game. We kicked the shit out of the Bucs. And Bryce Young finishes with 477 and 5. So that I feel pretty good. Ran it up. Literally only went in to get T-Mac his 1,000 yards. But I don't know where along the line I would have missed something here to not have a 100% accurate bracket. But yeah. This is what we got. Somehow the Lions made the playoffs. Somehow the Packers are the 3 seed. We got the 1 seed Rams. Things actually look pretty good on the AFC side. Literally everyone at least made the playoffs from the AFC side that's in the playoffs. So for this, I apologize. Which team didn't make it that I'm tripping on? Because that's going to be like the Rams, Seahawks, Niners. Yeah, Panthers, yeah, Eagles, yeah, Packers, yeah, Bears. The Bears didn't make it. Okay. Probably something to do with the Bears losing to the Lions. Anyways, let's be honest, don't think the Bears are going to be going super far. No disrespect. We're in the playoffs. Why doesn't Madden have an update for live franchise? Why did it just stop week 16? You know what I'm saying? 3 weeks to go. We just can't get the update. We're pretty much done with working on Madden 27 now. Anyways, reflecting on the season that was, Carolina, in real life, went 8-9. But they do end up winning the NFC South. So we are starting this rebuild with a divisional title, which is always pretty good. Looking at our player stats, obviously inflated a little bit by that final performance. Bryce Young, we got 3,300 yards, 27 touchdowns, 9 picks. Within the ballpark of like how he played this year, which is good. Low end good, but good. Running the ball, we get 1,000 yards from Rico Dowdle, 500 yards from Chuba Hubbard. You would assume if Chuba played the full slate of games, it'd be close. I don't know if Rico would have went over 1,000. I know there was a little bit of drama about like Chuba starting and Dowdle deserving to start, and they just kind of stay with Chua maybe a little long. But again, I think, I don't know, maybe before the offseason I'll go look on like the Panthers Reddit, but what the fan base is saying about, are you paying Rico Dowdle with Chuba Hubbard and Brooks? Are you just saying, you know, we'll take the comp pick? Like, someone will give him money. You'll probably get a 4th or 5th round, probably 5th round comp pick back. That seems like the smart thing to do. Receiving, we did get our 1,000 yards for T-Mac, 8 touchdowns as well. Legit 500 yards and 4 touchdowns. Need more out of him. Jalen Coker, 500 yards, 6 touchdowns. Honestly, that's pretty much in line. If we can get legit, I don't know if this is ever going to be a 2,000-yard receiver offense, but we can get legit, you know, 800, 900, flirting with 1,000. T-Mac a lock for 1,000, and Coker can give us 500-600 yards, 5 to 6, 7 touchdowns. Hey, I'd be happy with that. And we also definitely need to find like a tight end, our tight end for the rebuild. Defensively, we have Roseboom going over 100 tackles. We have not a lot of sacks. That is definitely a concern. Scourton has a dev trait. Uman Malayan has a dev trait. Didn't really see a lot of potential this season, but we're not going to give up after 1 year. And obviously, Derek Brown's an absolute stud. Hopefully, with that stat line, he keeps his superstar dev. 5 picks for the Horn Dog. We got 3 from Mike Jackson. I think he had 4 IRL. Trevor Wallace has always been, from at least a Madden standpoint, one of my sleeper linebackers. So we're obviously going to try and develop him into a dude. Let's go see if T-Mac gets Offensive Rookie of the Year. First of all, before we go to the awards, that is disrespectful, Dave Canales. Like, I would have Dave Canales over Harbaugh. I would have Dave Canales. Honestly, I'd put him over D'Amico Ryans too. Like, I think we should be a little bit higher up this list. And I love D'Amico Ryans. One of my favorite coaches in the league. I just think a lot more talent on Houston than there is Carolina. So it's more of an accomplishment for Carolina making the playoffs. But there you have it, Offensive Rookie of the Year. I think he's the betting favorite right now. T-Mac brings it home. He's already a superstar dev. Could we get an X Factor? That would certainly be the kick in the ass this rebuild needs going into year 2. He also sets the receiving yards record for a Panthers rookie all time. So this game should be a rematch against the Rangers. I think it's going to be a very interesting game. I watched that game because I was at a time where I was thinking the Eagles could get the 1 seed. So I was like, oh my God, the Rams might actually lose here. I think that'd be a fun rematch. We get Seattle. Let's be honest. I don't think there's a gigantic difference between, you know, our outlook. We are going to be very much the underdogs against the Rams, underdogs against the Seahawks. Maybe if this was the role, if you're Carolina, you might think it's easier to beat a different team than trying to beat the Rams twice. Let's see if we can go on a run here. We are the home team. I mean, this does suck from a Seahawks standpoint. I don't know where I messed up the set. I'm gonna have to do better because if I'm doing all these playoff rebuilds, it won't be that fun if it's always just weird matchups. But I did every team, every single team. That's the only thing that makes sense that I messed up. It was like something happened with the Bears where I had to force obviously the Lions beating the Bears week 18. That cost them to miss somehow. Great. Well, we're winning. Carolina is up. Yes! Let's go! In our little, obviously now fantasy playoff run, because it's not 100% accurate. Carolina shocks the world in the wild card. That's all you get to view this as. Do you think Carolina could hey, how about this? Do you think Carolina could topple NFC West in the wild card round? That's the way we're going to view it this. We shut down Sam Darnold, and I'm going to be honest. I'm always going to be a fan with the history of this channel of the reclamation projects, the rebuilds, the career rebuild for Sam Darnold. I like it. Don't like Sam Darnold in the playoffs. I don't. Bryce Young played fine. Fine. He played like his stat line. Good. Low end good, but he played good. 200 yards, 1 touchdown, no turnovers. T-Mac, first playoff game. Shout out. Legit. Need him to get some confidence to take his game to the next level. Maybe a big playoff performance like this could help us out. Defensively, 2 sacks by DJ Wanham. No picks, but we held him under 100 yards. So that is an outstanding job by everybody on the defense. All right, stupid to reference this because, again, we're doing realistic, and this is not the realistic playoffs, but at least everyone that moved on is, like, in the playoffs right now. Now, the Rams technically would be eliminated at this point, but let's... And obviously the Eagles and Niners are so stupid. Hey, well, at least the AFC side looks a little bit better. We have the Texans, Patriots. We have the Broncos against the Jags. Jags with a big upset. I actually kind of like that upset. That'd be my one playoff upset right now. I think right now Trevor Lawrence is the hottest quarterback in the NFL. And what are these points? These quarterbacks, your Justin Herberts, your Trevor Lawrences, your CJ Strouds, your Bryce Youngs. One of these fucking quarterbacks at some point is going to have a signature game. None of these guys have a goddamn signature game in their career. Signature big time win. I think Trevor Lawrence might have a chance here against Buffalo. But I digress. We get the birds. I don't know how this, I think could this happen? If Carolina wins and Philly wins, depending on how the bracket, could Philly get the Panthers like lowest seed as long as, maybe, right? Because obviously it's all about who the one. Let's not try to make sense of it. Let's just keep winning. Put our head down, keep winning. All right, traveling to Lincoln Financial Field. Bryce Young 2 years ago almost single-handedly beat the Philadelphia Eagles. That was an Eagles team that was better than this year's Eagles team. Can he do it again? That was a game I remember legit had like had a bad drop or two in that matchup. Kind of a common theme, needing legit to step up and justify the big pick. Now we got all field goals. We need to start getting touchdowns here, fellas. I know we like our rookie kicker, but unfortunately, it looks like one playoff win is as far as we are going to go. I got belt to ash there a little bit, but I think one playoff win with this Carolina Panthers team would signal a great start to the rebuild. Looking at the performance, so Bryce Young just didn't get much there. Jalen, I think this is just classic opposite ends of the spectrum in terms of playoff experience and clutchness. Right? Young, not great. Run game, not great. Pass game, couldn't get going. Defensively, man, DJ Watt, shout out him, man. He got 4 sacks this playoff run, but like barely any plays at all. We got the one forced fumble by Roseboom. Ugh. Ugly, ugly game. Shout out the kicker for showing up, I guess. So the championship games are set. We have the Texans, Jags, and we have the wild card matchup here between the Eagles and the 49ers. I'd say my prediction right now, if I had a gun to my head, as a biased Eagle fan, Super Bowl, I think it's going to be Philly and Houston. I think it's going to be 2 offenses that can look good and then underwhelming. 2 elite defenses. I think that's the winning method. I think it should be a good one. Let's see if that can come to fruition. Knowing Madden, it's going to be 49ers Jags. Knowing Madden, we are right. It is 49ers Jags Super Bowl. Wow. Jacksonville wins. Maybe there's something to that. Jacksonville had plenty of time to give up on Trevor Lawrence, and they didn't. And they stuck through with it. And this is the truest statement. Trevor Lawrence going into the playoffs right now in real life is the hottest quarterback in the league. He's been on fire the last month. Maybe there's something to be said in this for what we're experiencing with Bryce Young. Maybe. So taking a look at the squad as we end the season. Well, as far as dev traits are concerned, T-Mac is a superstar. We didn't get a double dev or anything crazy like that. Wow, Jimmy Horn Jr., the dev trait. Wow, he's so far down the depth chart. Not even making the picture. We keep the dev trait on Dowda, who is at that weird, like, 27, 28 running back where you could just, like, magically, like, oh, you're going to regress this year. Again, I don't know what to do with this. I don't want to piss a bunch of Panther fans off, but, like, look at this. You don't need this many running backs at all. And, like, you're not... Like, I think that's what they're going to do. I think you take the comp pick from Dowdle. You already commit your money to Chuba Hubbard, and then let's get excited about Brooks, who was the best running back in his class 2 years ago. Now finally healthy. Defensively, lose the superstar on Derek Brown. That's very frustrating. We gain a dev trade on Shareless for some reason. Gain a superstar on Murray. Gain a superstar on Jaycee Horn. Gain a star on Mike Jackson. Okay. Not bad. Not bad. Even though I think Derek Brown keeping that superstar would have been huge. So our final time to look at some contracts. We are obviously going to... I think you accept the 5th-year option on Bryce Young. 35 is a lot. We have $90 million in cap. But you want... he's still auditioning to prove he's the guy. Taylor Moton. Maybe go up to like 12. 10-5. Like, I don't want to pay much more than that. Wow. Turnstile mode. What's your franchise tag at? 20 million bucks? 31. I'm not signing anyone else, so we'll bring him back on a 1 year. Congrats, you played yourself. Wanham was actually kind of solid. 4 sacks in the playoffs, but I feel like that's just the opportunity cost. And it'd make a lot more sense if we could put like Ume Malayan in that position. It'll be better for the team long term. Everybody else, I mean, this guy just got dev trait shareless, so let's see if we can just get you to stick around a little bit. Cool. We clip a little bit of salary cap space here. Ashawn Robinson, thank you for your service. I think it's a sign of how weak this free agency class is that Rico Dowdle's the second best free agent available. And or when is Madden adding comp picks? Because we would very much take the comp picks. Looking at needs, we need a tight end. Yeah, we're not going Darren Waller. Isaiah Likely, Coastal Carolina could bring him back. Looking for 8.6 a year. That's a little pricey. It's a little pricey considering we have the big unknown of Bryce Young. Right? I picked up the very expensive 50-year option. And then on top of that, am I going to then draft a new quarterback? If he's not the guy, then we can kind of get a little frivolous with our cap. I don't want to pay a lot of guys right now. We're in that limbo period of am I going to pay Bryce Young or not? Because if I do decide to pay him and he's earned a new contract, things in the budget could get very tight if we spend kind of recklessly now. And it's a really good tight end class. Wow, Christensen's the top left tackle. If there was comp picks, we would be cleaning up right now. We need a will linebacker, an outside linebacker. Anybody here looks kind of cool? Any linebacker that look kind of cool here? Sanborn, no. No. What about Sam? No, absolutely not. We can use a nickel corner. Nickel corner. I repeat. Ooh, McMillan could be it. 26. Like 25-year-olds. 24-year-olds. Somewhere in that range. Kyle Blue Kelly. Igbenogany. You know? Let's sign a long snapper, so I have to stop drafting them. So going into the draft, we need a center. We need a tight end. We have too many holes to like worry about. Like, let's get future starters down the line. We could use a strong safety. We could use a linebacker. We could. I do want to get Cam Jackson on the field here. I think there's some upside there. We could use a corner. So I'd say corner, linebacker, safety, center, tight end would be our needs. We have the 25th pick overall. I'd say looking at the tight ends here, we got our focus scout. I'm not going to focus out any, but Sadiq Stowers, Claire Trigg, probably Jolly out of North Carolina State. Those would be like the tight ends I would consider that have like a good receiving pedigree from their time in college. So I'd like to say maybe second, third round, we see what the tight end market holds. Well, at center, you have to overdraft centers. We have Jake Slaughter, Logan Jones. Probably not. We're probably going to be looking at, there's scheme fits here. Pacho from Oregon and Brailsford from Bama. So again, third round, ideally. That'd be a nice pickup. Want to look at linebackers? Probably not an Arvell Reese, but like a Deontay Lawson from Bama could make a lot of sense. If, any of these linebackers fall to the first round, they could be there in the second round. Usually there's a good run of the will linebackers. Like we haven't really used Sonny Styles a whole lot. Haven't used Torian York from A&M. Both very talented linebackers. Certainly high up our list. Corners, well, man, good year to need a man corner. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 of the top, 15 are scheme fit corners. So that's very good. And we round up safety. We certainly have some options here. So we're going to stay put. Last couple rebuilds we've done, we've been aggressive in trading up, and we've kind of depleted our resources, if you will. Looking at how everything broke down here in terms of who would we have traded up for? Sadiq at tight end going 13, way too rich for our blood. Delane at 15 corner. We got McCoy at 20 at corner. Anthony Hill 22. We Here's some other corner. We just used Terrell in our last rebuild, so I would have gone that direction. Looking at the board where we're at right now, in terms of needs, you need a tight end. We still have Eli Stowers. Still have a pick of the litter at center. I think I would be honest. Honestly, I might be aggressive and try to trade up in the second round and get a center. Just because I've never been able to get one of those centers. Get David Bailey. That would be a very fun pass rush, but I think we got to trust the limited resources that we have. That Ume Malayan and Scouton can become a guy for us. Lawson is a first, second round talent. We also have Sonny Styles. Are we trying to chase a potential new Kuechly? Sonny Styles could be that. I think Panther fans would be pretty upset they draft a linebacker. But what if they were told he's the next Luke Kuechly? Thieneman could make a lot of sense as well. Again, you know what? If this was Madden, we're going to take out Panther fans IRL. This was Madden, and you were sold. This could be the new Luke Kuechly. 6'4", 234. Intelligent. Former safety. Elites. You'd make that move. So that is exactly what we're going to do. The most electrifying linebacker in the nation. Sonny Styles from Ohio State. 31 in true value at 25. He's going to be a freak for us. I think him and Trevin Wallace look out. I think we're going to have to trade with the first pick of the second round because center and safety would be the next two if we want to be aggressive. And we just saw Logan Jones go at 27. Thieneman at 30. And maybe for what it's worth, if we're drafting linebacker high, yeah. Patriots drafted a linebacker right after us at 26. If we didn't go Sonny Styles at 25, I bet you New England took him at 26. So maybe that was a good pick. I'm never going to get a good center. Literally the hardest pick, I swear to God, it's harder than trading for a late first, is the first pick of the second round. And I was like, oh, Raiders have Jackson Powers Johnson, right? And it's like, he's a center. Sit the pick. And then I remember like, oh, fuck, they switched him to guard. Yeah, we'll just stay put, I guess. Right? All right, there's two players I want. Kilgore at safety, Chris Johnson at corner. Chris Johnson, San Diego State. I think he's PFF highest graded corner this year. I'm going to do process elimination. Just keep simming until one of them gets picked. And then as soon as one of them gets picked, we trade up. Come on, keep drafting junk guys. Keep drafting junk guys. One of them's probably going to go here to Minnesota if I had to guess. Ooh! Wow. Okay, we're looking good. So we're going to make a trade happen here where we send our second round pick next year, as well as our fourth round pick next year, fourth round pick this year, and Warden, a dev trait. I think he's 28, but a 74 star dev scheme fit. D tackle, third biggest need for the Falcons. Trade within the division. They're going to drive a hard bargain, but we're going to come up here because we might be able to sweep the board here with both DBs that I want. So we stay at 57, and at pick 44, we are coming up here, and we're going to take a look at Chris Johnson from San Diego State. Just some, because I probably don't know who the hell this guy is. You might say, oh, he's not CJ2K. Chris Johnson has like a 93 PFF coverage grade. He has NFL size. He has 4 picks on the year. He's going to be a corner. He's probably going to be the corner that everyone's like, oh, who the hell's that guy? Pretty good. We're going to get him. He's a scheme fit, man-to-man. Immediately he's going to come in and probably start for us. 21 in true value at 44 with a dev trait. How is this guy not gone yet, at least in the top half of the second round? That's a good call to be aggressive here. Now, if we can get Kilgore, it's going to be a perfect draft. All right, looking good. Quick ocular scan here. Now, the center going at 55 is kind of a piss-off, right? Kind of a piss-off, for sure. But at 57, we can make a play. And I'm going to be honest. I mean, we've used Eli Stowers a couple times, but I think at this price point, I'm in. Didn't think, I'm shocked he'd still be on the board here. So, I'm in. Start of the third round, Kilgore is still there. I want him. Again, try to play the game of skipping down. The fucking Raiders have had our B draft. They have, almost everyone they've got have been guys that we want. All right, we're going to draft the best remaining safety, I think. Jalen Husky from Maryland. Double, C-man, B hit power from a combine standpoint. He's right in, like, good greats for everything. No elites, not as strong strong safety class, but I think he had a pretty damn good year. Jalen Husky stats. Let's see here. Jalen Husky, Maryland, had 4 picks. He's 11 INTs over the last 3 years in college football. I don't know. Give us someone that can come in and compete with Ransom. 94 in true value at 89. Don't hate that pick. Oh, we get a dev trait. Let's go. Screw it. Let's get the MVP of the goddamn Rose Bowl here. Final pick. Pat Coogan at center. A pass block. Man, huts the ball to Mendoza. Oh, terrible value. Take a look at our draft recap. Pretty happy with how things all kind of broke down here. We get special teams. We get Letchin to be our return man, dangerous playmaker from Iowa. We get our new punter. We get Coogan at center. At least he's a scheme fit. Maybe a chance to develop into something. Jalen Husky at safety, 70 with a dev trait, so has a higher ceiling than Ransom. So that's a win immediately. Sub out Eli Stowers from a Madden standpoint, so I think he probably will go between like late second to like 4th round. I think he could have a potentially polarizing draft profile because he doesn't offer much as a blocker. But for us, 75 dev trait tight end, instant upgrade. We get Chris Johnson trade up for him, PFF's highest rated corner, 75 with a dev trait, scheme fit as well. Every one of these players is a scheme fit, so that is huge for the team. And then we go Sonny Styles in the first round. Yeah, I get the argument, positional value, but if he could become somewhat, maybe not the next Luke Kuechly, but the next linebacker that can get put up next to Luke Kuechly, we'll be very happy with this pick in 4 years' time when we are winning a Super Bowl and he's a 99 X Factor. We'll say starting the year 2, I actually kind of missed something here. Trevon Moehrig goes up superstar dev. Cool. We get, a difficult-ish start. 1 and 2 is never where you want to be, but we get a DB breakout scenario off of this. And we got a lot, like pretty much every DB I'd be cool with getting a breakout scenario for, and it's for the Horn Dog. I've never once explored the truth, because he's only going to make the jump from star to superstar. If you take easy goal, do you have a chance at still getting your dev trade? I'm going to do it as an experiment here. Let's see. Keep it alive. Tough matchup. That's surprising. They were the 1 seed last year. 0-3. We beat them. Let's go. Then we get our breakout. Held them to 17 points. Again, we took the easiest breakout scenario possible. Oh. Okay. XP's XP. That's fine. So coming out of our bye week, we lose a 1-point close game against Baltimore. We were one of the better teams, stronger teams in the AFC. It's a respectable L. Top 10 offense, top 10 defense. We can keep this pace, that's pretty damn good. Looking at our contracts here, $78 million of cap. I think, honestly, Mike Jackson on a 1 year is not terrible. I think he's kind of won the hearts over of Panther fans as a solid corner, so we'll keep him for 1 more year. I mean, I'm cool with Moton for 2 seasons, but the number here got to make sense. I feel like that's probably our best offer. So, I don't know. I think this is going to be another, let's wait and see. Just because we let him walk, that means we're going to have to prioritize getting a tackle. And I don't necessarily want to do that because he's a good placeholder there. So, we have no other free agents on the horizon. Maybe we'll come back and overpay him to get him locked in for 2 more years. We're kind of flip-flopping here. Win 1, lose 1. We have a breakout on the defensive line. So that could be pretty much anybody would be very much appreciated. And it is Uman Malayan. Opportunity for him. Let's go again. Kind of easy goal. Nothing too crazy. It's a game against the Bears. Could be a rock fight. 4-4 versus 5-3. 2 teams pretty much in the same area code of the NFC and competing for the playoffs. I think that's fair to say. But I don't want to go 0-3 on breakouts in this reel. Nice win. That's a quality win against a playoff caliber team. Did we get the breakout? Uman Malayan looking to make the jump from star up to a superstar. We'll take the XP, I guess. All right, so I got Taylor Moton re-signed. Kind of again, win 1, lose 1, win 2, lose 2. We got another breakout. For once, I'm going to highlight a breakout, and it's going to put the pressure on the player to actually fucking hit the breakout. So what do we have here for a DB? Jaycee. Oh, we got it! Just a free one. Horn Dog is a superstar X Factor. Those are my favorite breakouts. All right, nice 2-game win streak. This is the follow-up to see how much XP Jaycee Horn gets. And that sounds like a hell of a response. Yep. I assume that's probably best case scenario. We only get 1,000 XP. Oh, 2,000 XP. Okay. We're not going to play. He got an upgrade point, and we got 3 upgrade points for the rookie starter, Jalen Husky, 75 tackles. He gets almost 15,000 XP, and he's a scheme fit. Those are the house rules. And we got Hordog up to a base 90 overall, 91 with a boost, and obviously a perfect scheme fit. Unfortunately, big win over Detroit. Not so big loss over the Steelers, but we do get a player of the week, and it's Scouting with a hat trick of sacks. Decent enough silver lining. Did get a very nice big upgrade, almost 12,000 XP for 100 tackles. Sonny Styles, who also, house rules, has developed into a scheme fit. Okay. Look at those ratings. A lot of green. Top 5 offense, top 10 defense. We go 10-7. I was there like, oh shit. 10-7 first round bye. Didn't make the playoffs. One of the best teams in the league didn't fucking make the playoffs. Did get a nice +4 for Stowers at the end of the year, but fuck, man. Brutal. The progress, I mean, we're a team that's almost everybody on the right side of 27. It's kind of the tipping point here for development and reaching your ceiling. Bryce Young. You know, it's one of those things. If this is where he's at, we can win with this. His contract needs to be in line with this. I do not want to be paying him money for a guy that, like, he's asking for 40 touchdown a year quarterback money. So I think that's how I'm going to view the quarterback situation going forward. Chuba Hubbard was solid. Brooks, a good 1-2 punch. 7 touchdowns, 18 total rushing between them. On the receiving standpoint, we did not get a 1,000-yard receiver, which is interesting. I had T-Mac in the slot. He didn't start in the slot. I moved him in the slot when it looked like it might be a challenge to get him 1,000 yards. Usually that's kind of automatic. Not the case with Carolina. He did have 11 touchdowns. All in all, not a bad season. Coker was solid. Stowers was solid. Legit, you know, might just never be that guy. We have a decision with his 5th-year option this year. 200 tacklers here in Wallace and Styles. We got 12 sacks, Ume and Malayan, 11.5 from Scouting, 7 from Derek Brown. Happy with those numbers. Good numbers. 4 picks for Horndog, 3 for Trevin Wallace. Not terrible. 1 pick there. How did Chris Johnson not get on the field? Dude, he's my corner 3. Look, corner 3. How is he not playing? Brutal. Like, who knows? That might have cost him some sort of awards. Fuck. So we didn't have any award winners. And as far as, like, dev traits and stuff are concerned, on the offensive side of the ball, Stowers was hidden dev as a star. No one went up, which, I mean, his offense was pretty good. Surprised no one went up. Defensively, Ume Malayan is now a superstar. Trevin Wallace goes from normal up to a star. Husky was hidden dev rookie star. Johnson hidden dev rookie star, even though I don't know how he didn't get on the field as our corner 3 over Jackson, but it must have worked because Horndog got his X Factor. I think if that's the trade-off, you told me botching somehow, even though I wasn't really a botch, Johnson's rookie year, and I still get an X Factor for Jaycee Horn. That's a trade-off I'm making every single day. Also, pretty sick. Ume Malayan got a superstar dev. We got, 2 real affordable edge rushers for the foreseeable future. So for our contract of the year, we're going to decline the 5th-year option on Legit. Maybe we can get him on like a cut rate deal and continue his development, which I think would be pretty sick. We did get Taylor Moton's contract figured out, so we might be able to make a splash free agency. We got some funds, even though we do need to be, planning on the question mark that is Bryce Young and whether or not he's deserving of a mega extension or not. So in a free agency in the draft, this is our team. You could probably, point at center maybe as a weak spot, but I think we can continue to develop Coogan. At this point, it's like, our guards are getting older. Like, if we're looking at who's going to be here year 5, Iquanu, and if we want to continue to develop Coogan, might be the only option. So depth on the offensive line, but you're not going to pay for that in free agency. I still feel pretty good about our wide receiver room. Backfield solid. Defensively, I mean, we could use another D tackle. Jackson's just solid if the D tackle market presents itself. We could look at maybe a more long-term option at corner. Jackson for 1 more year, and then someone that could succeed him. I feel good about the linebackers. Feel good with the safeties. Really, we're BPA. Maybe a splash move for a D tackle. Or if there's like a really good center, I guess. But there's never good centers. So take a look at free agency. Good, you need a safety. Zay Flowers also hitting the open market here. Interesting. But for us, I mean, we center. Jenkins is usually a one and done as he retires. D-tackle. A couple rentals. Ooh, Brian Brzee. See, that's the hardest part, though, man, is trying to justify paying this for a D-tackle, knowing that, like, in a year we could just nose tackle cheese. But, you know, Clemson local guy, why not? Let's make a move. We'll at least put an offer in. He wants to join us. I love the fact that he's interested. You always want to be wanted. And, hell yeah. All right, you can come in and make a game changer. 25.79 with a dev trade. That's a guy that, you know, could be high 80s by the time we're year 5 trying to Super Bowl or bust scenario. Take a look at a final look at Mock Draft 5. I mean, the good news is that we are not picking in the playoff spots, I guess, if we're looking back at hindsight. We are currently projected to go Trevor Gooseby, tackle. A lot of tackles where we are picking. I mean, I'm not 100%. Again, we're kind of just, especially with selecting Brian Brzee, we are certainly open-minded to where we could go with our pick. But to be honest, we're starting this draft. I have no idea what we're gonna do, what I want to do. I thought, I was like, maybe, man, could we trade it for a wideout, like package legit, and see if we can find like a better swing at a wide receiver too. But it's like, after Jeremiah Smith, who's going 3rd, and we're not gonna be able to trade up to 3rd, you're kind of just like, you know, we don't have to trade up. We could probably, you know, we're going to have pick of the litter for the next, like Ryan Williams is going 25. That could be something we consider. You got the dude from Texas is also an option that's still on the board. I mean, BPA is at tackle, even though we just brought back Moten. What if Moten retires after this year and we have a pick of a tackle that I did scout some tackles there at 18. That could be in play. There's also a BPA scenario that we need to discuss. So looking at our team overall, like again, we feel good about our running backs. We have Ryan Wingo to Texas is still here. 6'2", ran a 4.29. But I mean, that could just be Xavier Legette all over again. Fast guy that might not be able to put it all together. 2 options at tackle. Caleb Lomu is actually a scheme fit. That could be a play for sure. Agile scheme fit right away at right tackle. We also had Baker, who is a scheme fit at tackle. Other options, if we're going strictly BPA, I scouted him. Sammy Brown from Clemson. Do we just double up at linebacker? I know Trevin Wallace broke out, but I mean, his contract's coming up. Do we just say screw it and go Sammy Brown, Sonny Styles? 2 terrifying linebackers going forward and truly recreate, you know, that Thomas Davis, Luke Kuechly era. Outside of that, I mean, again, I like our safeties. I like our corner room for the most part right now. Maybe if there's like a clear good corner, I would consider that just to give us 3 down the stretch. But I think it'd be hard-pressed to find like someone better than Sammy Brown right now. That's just a terrifying player that does everything. Can rush the passer as well a little bit. It's all about hindsight. If we're gonna get 2 years out of Moten, the 2 years that I resigned him, I think we'd be like, well, we're just drafting Lomu for nothing, right? Because Lomu, you know, that's not a guy you can move in at guard or anything like that, and we're not gonna move Moten into guard. He's never played there. So I'm thinking, unfortunately, we're gonna gamble that we'll get 2 years out of Moten. Sammy Brown is the pick right here. Even with Trevin Wallace going up depth trade, maybe he becomes a trade piece. Sammy Brown, 33 in true value at pick 18. And this guy's a monster. But if we are year 5, no Super Bowls, what could we have done differently? What, where, how, why did we go wrong? We could maybe look back and say going linebacker back-to-back years in the first round wasn't the best use of resources. I'll tell you what, Ryan Wingo still being available with the first pick of the 2nd round. We also have Cam Coleman from Auburn. Also looks sick, but I think we've used Cam Coleman a couple times. We also have Jacoby Lane from USC. Different style. I mean, that'd be kind of Kelvin Benjamin 2.0. Ryan Williams is Ryan freaking Williams. Don't get that wrong. But I think in the case of Wingo, this might be viewed as a little bit of an overpay. Again, the first pick of the 2nd round is such a pain in the ass. You're pretty much trading for a first round pick. But Legette, he's in a contract year. there's a chance. There's a chance he could still be a guy. But the fact that we may be able to take a swing on another guy on a rookie contract, which with Bryce Young's question mark, that's value. Trevin Wallace became surplus a little bit. Value for sure. Dev trait, rookie contract, 78 upside. Walks into being probably linebacker 2 for the Dolphins. I did have to throw in a 5th this year, a 4th next year, and a 4th down the line. And, 2028, 2029 4th round picks, that's where we can get some real nice picks. And we got an aging offensive line. We'll just have to switch and speed up the process a little bit and target those good linemen 3rd round instead of 4th round. That's fine. We now have the first pick of the 2nd round, and my logic in doing this, there's still some great players available, right? We're not necessarily in strictly BPA scenario. And I mean, hindsight could be if Bryce Young doesn't work out, Sorsby, Sam Levitt, DJ Lagway, John Mateer, Raiola. There's some big name quarterback prospects that could be very interesting to try and grow and develop. I think Sorsby just transferred to Texas Tech. Actually, this will probably be the last rebuild on these draft classes. I think someone said the sports gaming rosters updated his. I'll go take a little look there. Always throw him a plug. But I'm thinking at wideout here, the athletic profile of Ryan Wingo. That is absurd. That is a dimension of the offense that we don't have. T-Mac is your jump ball. Cokers, big slot. Ryan Wingo, just an S-tier athlete. As long as he has a dev trait and has a ceiling to boot. 59 at 33. We do get the dev trait. 6'2", 215. 95 acceleration, 93 agility, 97 jumping, 96 speed. We can work with that. I'll be honest. 3rd round, if we could trade and get a 2028 3rd round pick, and plus something, a 3 and a 5, 3, 5, and 7. 4 to 4, 3 and a 4, like a 2028 3. I don't want anything else this year. My board's kind of shot at this point. But if we can't get a good pick, and I don't love any, instead of just straight up flipping the pick, I think it wouldn't be wasteful to could Sorsby, he's a scheme fit, be our backup option. This is a man that got $5 million in the transfer portal from Texas Tech. I feel like if Bryce Young's just, again, 26 touchdowns, looking for $150 million, why not take the best there's no depth trait. Why not take the 1st round projected quarterback that's still on the board in the 3rd round? And we just got Matt Corral 2.0. Wow. Sucks. Should have won DJ Lagway. All right, so take a look at our draft recap. It needs to be an updated class. Kawan Lacey, who led the SEC in rushing touchdowns, was still on the board in the 6th round. I was like, okay, sure. 66 normals. Thought I got a steal there. Sorsby being a 68. That's probably not too ridiculous. That's pretty much the going rate for a non-1st round quarterback. Maybe surprised there was no dev trait there. He's a very highly touted quarterback right now. But, I'm happy with the first 2 picks, right? Literally what we did here, in a way, was salary cap with Bryce Young needs to be, that's the big question mark. That's the issue that at a hand right now. Obviously, more so the fact we went 10-7 and missed the playoffs. So, trading 2 players that are also up for contract at the same time that we didn't know, in Xavier Legette and Trevin Wallace, and getting 2 players at those positions with higher ceilings on rookie deals for the rest of the rebuild. And then we also, to boot, for whatever, 6, I'm not going to gloat too much about this pick. It's solid, not great. We do have an emergency option. So this is pretty much the what the hell do we do with Bryce Young draft, and I think we did a good job. So as we start year number 3, I think it's fair to say that we have a pretty complete roster, but all of these guys need to continue to reach their ceiling. You know what I'm saying? I feel like we're offensive line, maybe I'm a little concerned that Lewis, Hunt, and Moton are either going to start regressing, fall off a cliff, or retire. I think that's our next big concern, but we're about to hit the Madden generated classes in this portion of the rebuild, which, not all the time, but probably 80% of the time, we can find some linemen there that, if we need to replace, we can. But if you're looking at it from the standpoint, center doesn't really matter. It's the least important position in Madden. The O-line is good. We have a tight end with a high ceiling. We have a wide receiver room with a very high ceiling. We have a great 1-2 punch at running back that both of them are continuing to develop. We have a young quarterback, still a question mark, but 81 scheme fit. Was he 26? Like, I'm seeing, what would you say Bryce Young's ceiling is at this point? Probably like 87 before he starts to regress, unless we get a dev trait scenario, which, maybe, right? Our offense was top 10 in scoring. If we can bring some yards up, absolutely. But the offense looks pretty good. High ceiling for the offense, and or we're good to go. Good to win. Defensively, the D-line is great, especially with the addition of Brian Brzee. Scheme fit, him and Derek Brown are going to be great. Milan going up dev trade is huge. Linebacking core, Sammy Brown and Sonny Styles, they're going to be very special players for us. We got a dev trade in Husky. We got Morag with a dev trade. We got Horndog up to an X Factor. Chris Johnson looks solid. We have Jackson for the time being. Like, every single position on this team has a starter we feel pretty good about. Last year, 10-7, no playoffs, an absolute brutal roll. This year, let's give it no doubt. 11 wins. There's no way you missed the playoffs with 11. That's going to be our target. All right, so year 3, we're 3-2. Got some winnable games. Got, I think we had the Browns, Titans. Got the Cardinals here. So at this, it all comes down to this. This is going to be the most pivotal point in this whole rebuild. Bryce Young. He's looking, that's not a mega extension. That is, I could deal with 3 years. Because that means that if this rebuild goes down as an L and we got to come back and re-rebuild, we're not going to be committed to Bryce Young. And if we don't win a Super Bowl the next 3 years, probably don't want a 30-year-old Bryce Young at a super big number. So I'm thinking maybe we go like 25-19 probably. 3 years, 132. Bet you, we might have to go as high as 135. I like that, that's not a brutal contract. We're going to bring back the superstar safety Morag on a 3-year, lock him in for the rest of his prime. Now, looking at what else we have. We have Mike Jackson, he can go. Damian Lewis, I can replace that in the draft. Jonathan Brooks is an interesting one. I like the 1-2 punch. I think this is like thinking if this rebuild doesn't work out, lock him in so that you can kind of have a passing of the guard when Chuba starts to regress. Brooks will still be under contract for maybe 3 more years. So I think we'll get a contract extension hammered out here. All right, so again, I don't like it much higher than 135, for being honest with you. But there we go. We're committing to Bryce Young for the rest of this rebuild. Hopefully it doesn't come back to bite us in the ass. But we're playing pretty well this year. So at the end of the year, we got Sammy Brown, 5 skill points. This is not uncommon to have a rookie that plays, especially a first-round pick. We get 100 tackles. He gets a big-time XP boost. But more importantly, Sammy Brown out the box. A superstar X Factor. Now, it took it a little bit. He was not a pass cover player, so we had probably about 2 overall points that didn't actually improve his rating because of the house roulette to invest in scheme fit. But for us trying to recreate, obviously with committing to Bryce Young, we're not going to be able to recreate Cam Newton on the offense, right? But I think there's an art, in a way, to try to mirror similarities of some of the best teams that while we're trying to rebuild. For the Carolina, we have, to a lesser extent, right, D'Angelo Williams, Jonathan Stewart, an outstanding 1-2 punch, almost a famous 1-2 punch. We got Chuba Hubbard, who's almost an 85, and Jonathan Brooks, who's an 84. Great 1-2 punch at running back. We now have, with Sammy Brown and Sonny Styles, yes, not premier positions to be investing first-round picks at, but we now have a superstar X-Factor linebacker and Sonny Styles, who's an absolute freak of nature, mirroring Luke Kuechly, Thomas Davis. I wanted 11 wins. We got 13. Top 10 off. This scheme's been good. This scheme was good when our players weren't the best, so I'm expecting as this team gets better, and not surprising, right? There's some rebuilds. We did Minnesota. We rebuild the Jets, where I know we're going to be going up shit creek without a paddle from a scheme standpoint. They're never good. Carolina is a common team that develops really, really nice when we're doing rebuilds to someone else. Obviously, Carolina win the Super Bowl. I've seen Carolina be, a deep playoff contender. So I'm not surprised that we're having some success with the team that we have. Now, going into year 3, did I think we'd have a top 10 offense, top 10 defense? No. But it's about the team. We're not putting up video game numbers. It's not like we're abusing the system or anything like that. Bryce Young didn't even go for 30 touchdowns. But he's winning now, so now we have to kind of treat him like Jalen Hurts, where you're going to be a great point guard quarterback. Maybe you're never going to be MVP numbers, but you're going to win. And that is worth the price that we just paid. 1-2 punch, not as 1-2 punchy as we'd like, but a hell of a year from Chuba Hubbard. We did not, so close. So close to having 2,000-yard receivers. God damn it. T-Mac, another great year. I think as long as he keeps playing like this, we shouldn't worry too much about losing his superstar dev. But it's a door that's remaining open every year he goes under 1,000. Wingo was great for a rookie. That's going to put him definitely right up there in the mix for Offensive Rookie of the Year. Stowers was great. Coker was solid. Defensively, Sonny Styles and Brown, really, really nice. 12.5 sacks, Melee, and 10 sacks from Derek Brown, 8 from Scouton. Breezy was solid enough. Maybe not at that price point. We knew it was going to be we knew it was going to be tough to justify the price because D tackles cost a lot of money. But at some point, you know, Clemson, right? That's in Carolinas. I think that's South Carolina. Again, Canadian, don't hold me to it, but I know Carolinas. Okay, that'd be my question. I have a buddy that's a Panther fan. What up, T? Probably watching this. If you're a Panthers fan, are you cool with, like, any of the Carolina players? Like, do you view that as your pipeline? Like, if I'm a Panthers fan, are you looking for, like, I'll take North Carolina players, I'll take South Carolina, I'll take Clemson, I'll take Duke? Like, is there a certain, like, a state pride thing where, like, if the Panthers could just get all those type of players? Because I just think back, I know my buddy that's a Panther fan was, like, all about maybe Lenore Sellers joining the Panthers. South Carolina, not necessarily North Carolina. You know what I'm saying? Anyways, I digress. INT numbers, not crazy, not terrible. Happy that we actually got Chris Johnson on the field. He made some plays for us after the just terrible situation last year. Last season, we didn't have a single award winner. This year, we start Coach of the Year, going to Dave Canales. Deserved. Ryan Wingo wins Offensive Rookie of the Year. Ooh. Damn. I mean, he's already an X Factor. Didn't really need it. All right, year one playoffs were botched. Somehow, I'm not taking responsibility for it. Now we get to see. Rams, Panthers in the playoffs. They have a really good defense. Our defense is right in line. Our offense is a lot better. A lot more consistent. We can run the football. We can throw the football. We're the home team. I'm expecting a win here and getting to the championship. But you never know how it goes. I mean, we did win last year in the wildcard round over Seahawks. So, like, this is not a team that's like, oh, like, how many rebuilds have we gone where we make the playoffs a couple times and never win? Carolina can win. This is a team that we put up a lot of green rankings. And when we play the sim like this, you can kind of see those ratings come to fruition. Don't love that, though. I don't love giving up a score and then going on a drive and getting 0. And then settling for a field goal. Come on, boys. There's a sense of, like, there's just, like, how do we get nothing there? A field goal and we're winning. No. This is the kind of performance makes it piss off we played Bryce Young. But then also, like, where else do we go? We lose to Nussmeier and the Rams. That is, you know. At no point did we play to our offensive standard. We have an offensive head coach. Just paid our quarterback. Defense also, I mean, I don't know. That was a weird one. Defense definitely didn't do their job. But the offense, there was at least 3 times we were in scoring position and got 0. Like, even if we just get all those field goals, this is a competitive game in the fourth quarter. Sometimes it's out of sight, out of mind when you kind of fast sim, because when you slow sim, how many times have we slow sim? I feel like the last couple of rebuilds when we've slow sim. I remember we won a Super Bowl because we were watching the slow sim, and like Kansas City kicked a field goal versus trying to win. And there was like a rebuild before that. I can't remember what rebuild it was, but it was, I can tell you actually which one it was. It wasn't Minnesota, I don't think. It was Cincinnati. We did a Bengals rebuild where we lost the AFC Championship game to Buffalo in year 3, where we're at right now, and it was in overtime. We ran the football every down. Like, first down in overtime, run, nothing. Second down, run, nothing. Third down, run, nothing. And it was like fourth down, we got like a 3-yard run with Chase Brown. The Bengals, where we were throwing like 3,000 yards and 30 touchdowns with Jamar Chase. We ran, like, it's what keeps you honest in these rebuilds. It's what makes it challenging. We won all the time. It wouldn't be as exciting when we do win. But fuck, man. Bad L. At least the Rams were a wagon. There was nothing stopping them. They went on and won a Super Bowl with Nussmeier winning MVP. We got to try to get like them. Of our team in closing, Ryan Wingo goes up to a superstar dev after winning Offensive Rookie of the Year. So that gives us, and T-Mac keeps his, I almost would say right now, looking at this, no excuse. We need 2,000-yard receivers next year. Bare freaking minimum. Offensively, well, Taylor Moton retires at right tackle. We knew that was going to be a possibility. We're letting Lewis walk in free agency, so we're going to need a new guard, a new tackle. Stowers is now a superstar dev. Very nice. Defensively, we lose the X Factor on Jaycee Horn. That's probably more of an age thing. But as we end it on the defense, we're going to need a new nickel corner. We're going to let Jackson walk. But, I mean, corner, and that's the position actually I set for our focus scout. Kind of wish in hindsight we did tackle. But finding a corner, guard, tackle, not the hardest blueprint wish list for an offseason. Especially now that we're in the Madden-generated classes. So we are going to decline the 5th-year option on T-Mac so we can get ahead of that mega contract extension that he has deserved. Everybody else, thank you for... we do have a lot of money. So maybe we'll get Fitzgerald back. Our salary cap's in a pretty good spot. Enough so, I think we can potentially dip our toes in here. Now, we need a tackle. Joe Alt retired. I just used Joe Alt in a rebuild. And there's no interest there. So that's a tough swing. Suimati at guard. This could work. Where does that put us? Raiders. What? How much are you paying? I can't even offer a better deal. Feel good with our pass rush. Feel good with our D tackles. Could use a linebacker, but I need like a real affordable one. I don't think there's one that exists here. That would meet our price point. Maybe Colson. He is interested. Yeah, let's do that. I mean, I don't know, $6 billion for your third option. I mean, he wants to join the team. How about that? Where does this put us? 2-year, whatever. You really want to join? I mean, Jesus Christ, how much money do these teams have? We need a corner. I set my focus scout at corner, and there's just, you know, that's the sign. Joe Alt, Cooper DeJean are coming popular free agent guys that are there year 4. I think there are rebuilds when they're interested. I think that'll be the case when we go sign them. Both of them couldn't give a shit about our team. Oh yeah, hell yeah. Okay, we'll take that. Let's go, Mims. I mean, we're not probably finding a better tackle than what we would be able to get to Mims for the next 2 years. So that's a win. And now we can shift our focus, find a guard, go corner 1st round, guard 2nd round, BPA, maybe a linebacker 3rd round. Actually, we don't even need that. We got Colson here. All right, cool. All right, so look at the final mock draft. There are 2 guards that look very good. One is a scheme fit that I really want that I got to get. Because this whole house rule of investing in scheme fits really, really is a pain in the ass. Look, right there, that's who I want. Top 5, Mario Quintana, 22. We pick at 27. We're going to pick up the phone and call Kansas City at 21. Quintana is mine. A pass block, B run block. He's definitely going to be 80 plus. All right, now we're not jumping up a whole bunch of spots. I did not think they'd take a future 2nd as enough to trade up, but God bless them. As they're going to allow us. Ooh, very nice. Scheme fit, Quintana. Ace. B run block. Bench press is good. Elite agility. Scheme fit, most importantly. Yeah. Ooh, not number 1. Okay, I thought it would have been number 1. Number 2 at 21, Dev trait guard. Very optimistic this is going to be an outstanding home run pick. So the bummer is I did scout a bunch of corners. Where did Shepard go? That's who I wanted. I think he went this round. He went to the Cowboys at 48. It's kind of optimistic. There was like 5 corners ahead of him. Yeah. I mean, if 3-4 is the best talent, we could probably wait here. We got Frazier, who's a 3-4. It's just not a good year for corner, which sucks for us because we need a nickel. Now, the question would be, is there a good safety? And then we could maybe get a little creative. And this guy, Gilbert Foot, B zone, B tackle, B hit power, B pursuit, A awareness. If the combine's good, that's pretty good. This could be a play. And then if we draft him, we could, you know, perhaps look at maybe a Jalen Husky at nickel. Get Moerig involved at nickel. I think this is what we got to do. Hope and pray this is a good pick. Oh, let's go. 23 and true value 59. What a blind pick. Let's go. I mean, he could be a nickel. We just drafted generational. If I'm truly going to try to recreate, we need our Mike Tolbert. So a run block, elites, yeah, generational fullback. Come on down. The water's good. Wouldn't be a bad draft class. Generate one if we don't leave with a nose tackle. Hollenbach. That's our guy. He's good discipline as well. Won't get flagged much. We like high discipline players here, and that is another first-round pick, quality player. 28 and true value 155. Thank you. Now we're just kind of fill the depth chart here. We got Mr. LaMichael McBath, great discipline playmaker every day of the week. Keep on. We'll take all these guys. Scheme fit most importantly. Just looking for scheme fits. We'll take a look here at Nathan Oliver. Doesn't look too crazy in any department, but pretty good agility. And another just high IQ disciplined playmaker. Let's go. Oh, take a look at Enrico. Oh, he's a 54. What are we doing? Oh, no. That's like a glitch player. Well, high ceiling. I'm looking right now. Okay, what is the depth rate on this guy? Well, I'm not going to release you. Watch him be like an X Factor. I always like looking for these little nuggets that we might be able to carry over to our Yetis franchise. Okay, he's just a star dev. A long way to go. Cool. Outside of that, McBath, 74 depth trait. Yep. Hollenbach, 76 depth trait. Yep. 78 fullback. Yep. 76. I'm just viewing him as a DB. He's our nickel. He will cause someone else to move to nickel. Very happy with, and look at that. Now, who's number 2? There's a better player in this class than Mario Quintana. 83 depth trait scheme fit guard. Who the hell is that? Probably, I don't know, D-tackle? Something outrageous. Oh, safety. Soto. And it's not like the USC cheese one. Oh, he's kind of built like him. Cool. All right, year 4. And we go out. We get one of the best players in the draft. We get a very solid right tackle that won't have, I don't think anyways, a lot of drop-off from Taylor Moton. We now have 2 new superstars at skill positions, and Eli Stowers at tight end and Ryan Wingo at wide receiver. We bring in our, if we're going to call it 2.0 to a lesser extent, Chuba Hubbard. Actually, Brooks is ahead of him. New RB1. Pains me to do that as a Canadian, but we got to do it. Hungry dogs. Whoever's the most hungry, it might be Brooks, but we got our little 1-2 punch with a fullback cheese, paying homage to the great D'Angelo Williams, Jonathan Stewart, and Mike Tolbert. I mean, I'd love to get... I mean, we're at a spot right now. Bryce Young needs to just get a little bit better. 15, 20% better. Let's see, 32, 33 touchdowns. I want Wingo, T-Mac to go over 1,000 yards. I want 800 yards for Stowers. This offensive line is going to get these running backs over 1,000. The defense, Sonny Styles, Sammy Brown, do your job. We have Husky. Foot is going to play as a rookie because we're 1 short at corner. Fine. Nickel and or base, we will be good. 13 and 4 last year. We need to get at least 12 this year. No regressing, no major regressing. I want to see, honestly, everything be a little bit better. All right, we're winning, man. We might not be like, the ratings look decent right now. We might not finish. Bryce Young might never be a 40 touchdown guy, but we're operating. We got a clean operation here, and we're winning games. 6-2 at midseason. Looking at our contracts here, we got a lot of money, and with that money, we're about to spend it. T-Mac, worth it. I'd love to see him go back over 1,000 yards. Umamalayan, homegrown talent, pass rusher. It will go up like 10, 5, and 10. That get it across. Maybe another $2 million bucks. Could smooth that one over. Scouting's been solid as well. See if we can get him on a 3-year 44. That's a bargain. So that we overpay a little bit for Umamalayan, it's fine. I don't think many Panther fans will be too happy if we don't finish this rebuild with Derek Brown. That's very expensive, but he's also been pretty solid. I mean, I'd like to keep him as depth. That's very affordable. Gives us an option to maybe, trade down the line. Probably the end of the line for Chuba Hubbard. We talk about having a 1-2 punch in the backfield, but that's pretty expensive. We do have Robert Hunt, the veteran, but I drafted that depth trade guard late. That could probably take over his spot. So I think we get Umamalayan and Derek Brown re-signed and see how much money we have left, potentially just to close it out with Chuba as our RB2. So right off of, like, I want a little more money for McMillan. We get a win over Seattle. Very, very good, consistent ANFC contender. McMillan gives us a hat trick. So it just shows his value. I think we'll go up 5, and we'll go up 5. There we go. Beautiful. What about Derek Brown coming back to the table? This is a very, very tough con. What did we just round it up? There we go. Beautiful. So at the end of year number 4, same record. Copy paste. We go 13-4. This year, though, we did not do enough to get the 1 seed. Look at the green ratings. That is very good. Very, very good. Yeah, not really anyone competing with us for the South, which is good. We got to play Dallas. It's never fun. No one really went insane from a statistical standpoint. Bryce Young, that's just kind of is what he is. You know? Did get 6 rushing touchdowns, so that gives us, you know, our 34 that I like to think is kind of the cutoff that I like to look at. 34-35. Jonathan Brooks, first opportunity being the lead back, thrived. Same kind of, you know, pretty much kept the offense as is. Receiving, we got our 2,000-yard receivers, just barely on Ryan Wingo. Nice year from T-Mac, 1,200 yards, 10 touchdowns. Defensively, Sonny Styles, an absolute tackle machine. We got 17 sacks. McMillan scouting with 14. The fact that we got both those guys re-signed at the number that they did, very affordable. Terrible agents, honestly. 8 sacks, Derek Brown. 4.5 for Brian Brzee. 4 picks for the Horn Dog. Johnson with 3. Not terrible. Oh. Dev traits. Forgot. So, I knew that the fullback and guard that we got were going to be good. Fullback, there's still, I mean, that's probably going to be superstar. Quintana, superstar. You know what? Actually, I won't say that there's a chance he's superstar. It might just be a star. But Quintana, I knew it was going to be special. That's why we traded up. Did not know, blind pick as it can be, that foot safety that we got strictly because he had B-zone coverage. I'm like, all right, that could be something. Get the superstar dev on the absolute blind pick. Clock's ticking. Sometimes even me falls ass backwards into a great pick. For the second straight year, Dave Canales, coach of the year. Dude, outside of that, man, we are just, you know, the scheme's good. It's about winning. Like, we have had probably we've got offensive rookie of the year with T-Mac in year 1, offensive rookie of the year in year 3 for Ryan Wingo. Canales back-to-back coach of the year. No other awards have been given out in this rebuild. Well, first of the wild card, we get the Dallas Cowboys. 91 rated offense. Even though they didn't play like it, we played a lot better. But I'm sure they're going to find a way. I'd like to say that, you know, look at our ratings. Our ratings have to mean something. Our rankings throughout the year. When this team plays, we might not run the score up, but we win. Let's win. Dallas, we're trading touchdowns here opening. I think we definitely have a better balance. I think they might have a slightly better offense. I think we have a much better defense. So, like, on average, but, like, again, how many times has our team been in the red zone and we get nothing? I'll even take field goals. I hate taking field goals. But, like, we go to the red zone, sorry, like, it feels like at least 3 times and get nothing in the sim. Fuck, man. I don't know. No idea what to fix this. I can't put any more. The only thing is we're gonna have one more year of everyone getting better. That's fucking waste. You know what? It's Bryce Young. We didn't get it. He's a game manager, and we need a game changer. That's my reflection of this rebuild going into year 5. Shouldn't have fucking done the goody two-shoes thing. Should have been more ruthless in our quarterback evaluation. A guy that's getting 28, you know, passing touchdowns with 2 superstar wide receivers, superstar tight end, elite offensive line, 1-2 punch that most quarterbacks would dream for. You can't be a fucking passenger, and that's what Bryce Young is. Just sipping through the playoffs here. I'm not going to sell the farm because, again, there's the challenge of if we don't win, I am going to come back and try to rebuild this team. I think I'm going to see, like, what can we get for Bryce Young? Can I flip him for another? Is there a quarterback that we could trade for? That's our problem. He's 1,000% the problem with this team right now. I mean, in closing, looking at our dev traits and stuff. Well, we're going to lose Hunt, so McBath is actually going to step up. I mean, what a freaking draft that was to get our 2 guards. Graham, the fullback, is superstar. So, literally, we're going to go into this offseason, quarterback's our issue. And I don't know if I can fix that this offseason. Everything else, that is a Super Bowl offense. Defensively, Mulrick up to a superstar. We got Foote drafted as a superstar. Might be decent to get a nickel corner. But this defense, that is a Super Bowl. It's down to one man, and it's our noodle arm petite. I think about when we re-signed him. I didn't really have any other options, though. There was, free agency has no quarterbacks. So we would have just had to, at that point, we should have, it's not, I don't think Sorsby's not, we need a game changer. So it's not like we can do the realistic thing of we have Sorsby drafted, he's a highly touted quarterback. That's not going to win us a Super Bowl. We need a game, and they don't grow on trees. I think we're kind of fucked. The only thing I can think of is, can we bring in, is there a better scheme for Bryce Young? Probably not. Probably not. Probably not. Probably not. This is probably our only way, if I'm being honest with you. Do we agree? I'm still going to put him on. I'm going to do, see what I could get for Bryce Young. I think Dave Canales looking to expand his ideas and get some of that Cincinnati offense. Interesting. I've never had a Zach Taylor opportunity, honestly. I think there's going to be a lot of changes, but let's take a little look. See, Cincinnati runs a multiple zone. So we could... Ooh, that's definitely not great for a scheme fit. But we'll try it. Desperate times, desperate measures. We're going Super Bowl or bust. Now, because I have no idea if we're going to win a Super Bowl or not, we got to talk about this and think about this. We're going to decline the fifth-year option for Sonny Styles so we can get ahead of that. We unfortunately got to let Chuba Hubbard walk. We would have won a Super Bowl this year. I would have brought him back just to keep the band together. But, Robert Hunt, Chuba, thank you very much. We're moving on. Going to free agency, if there was an absolute, that is 100%. I don't have enough. He's looking for $60 million for 1 year. Outside of that, we're really good on the offensive line. Someone, I guess, like Miners would be insane, but Shamar Stewart continue. We're good with our pass rush. We're good with our defensive line. I'm really good with our linebackers. Could use that nickel. Upton Stout. Or we could keep Jahdae Barron. He's not a scheme fit. Scout is a scheme fit. But I like our safeties. We got 3 safeties that can kind of handle that job. So we'll not spend any money and have this roll over. So a nice treat for us if we have to come back and rebuild. All right, so for our final draft of the video, we're picking at 23. Our need is corner. Just, again, add competition so we don't have to maybe double up on the safeties there. We have all scouting done on corners. The value seems to be way down here in Tevin Franklin. He's not a perfect scheme fit, but a first, second round talent. We want to wait a little bit later. There's nothing much there. I don't really want to reach for that. I feel like there's... I'm confident I'd get that guy with our second pick. I think, honestly, that let's pick a quarterback, right? Lindsey Bernard looks, a good athlete. A little bit of a noodle arm. They're all Carlos Carter from Wisconsin. 4 Bs. 4.42. And then we have DeMarcus Whitting. A little bit better on the accuracies. At this point, fuck it. Let's get at least a quarter. If we have to come back, give me something that might give us something different. 76 at 23. We do get the dev trait. 90 throw power. 91 speed. 91 acceleration. We have a plan B if we don't win a Super Bowl this year. I do think, though, Zach Taylor is going to be a massive help to our passing game. And classic, I get 2 trade happy. I didn't have a second round pick, so that corner's probably fucking gone. Probably. Maybe. Per chance. No, nice, let's go. Tevin Franklin, come on down. Lacks discipline, which you don't love, but I'll take a 23rd rated player every day of the week there. So take a look at our draft recap. Feel pretty good with the Carter selection. I'm pretty sure, if I'm going to give myself credit about how we handled Bryce Young, I've been kind of hard on myself. We didn't give him a 5-6 year deal. I think this is the last year. He might be up for contract. So if it doesn't work and we got to come back, we have something very exciting. here at quarterback. I hope that's better than a star dev. If not, that still looks like a fun option. If you're going to get a normal dev play that you feel real good about, 75 in the third round, normal or not, feels pretty good. Rest of our draft was kind of ass. I mean, I'm not going to lie, I didn't really take, we didn't have a third or a fourth. Looking at the big board here. Okay. What about quarterbacks? Because we picked a quarterback. Was there anyone that was better? Allridge was already gone. We drafted Carter. Whitting was the other one. 69. He has a dev trait. Please just be star. If it's superstar or an X Factor, something crazy like that, that's going to be a kick to the Nats. Awesome. Tell you what, just give the kid a shot here. Gold medal in his first passing drill. For a guy that's not like a generational prospect. Just maybe might give him a chance to get that superstar dev trait role. Oh, a little bullseye to close it out. That might be my highest score ever. I would say he would have gone up to a superstar. Let's just say it's a superstar type or an X. I would have went for him as our starter this year. So year 5 offense, we're running it back. There's no other way to put it. That is maybe not S tier, but that's an A trending towards A+ tier offense. Right? I think, honestly, the only thing that's not is the quarterback spot, which is the most important spot. Oh, why do I want to? I feel like more often than not, I give Bryce Young a chance when I rebuild the Panthers, and I probably shouldn't. I'm in the same dilemma that Panther fans feel with every time I rebuild them. It's like, is he good enough? Is he not good enough? It's too harsh. We just be happy with what we got. Well, I hope our new offensive coordinator, Zach Taylor, can fix it. If Zach Taylor's offense can't fix this, I'm very, very happy that we have Mr. Carlos Carter waiting in the wings. Defensively, I think we're going to go with the same kind of schematic front. Didn't land a corner that we wanted, so Husky and Foot will kind of alternate. One in the nickel, one will start. We got Moerig, Horn Dog, everyone else ready to go. Let's do it, man. Back-to-back 13-win seasons. Back-to-back NFC South championships. Let's top it. Let's go for 14 wins and win a Super Bowl. Here in year 5, Super Bowl or bust. At mid-season, 5-2. That's kind of been where we've been at the last 3 years. So we're well on pace. But because it's year 5, Super Bowl or bust, we got to talk about contracts if we need to return. $64 million. Ooh. We don't have a... Stowers has been solid, but not necessarily a game changer. We do not have depth at corner. So we need to keep the Horn Dog here as a superstar. And he's been playing really good. I think Sonny Styles, another player. We try to make this happen. I like to keep Sonny Styles and Sammy Brown together. We're not probably too far off of that extension. Chris Johnson's also been great. I think we get him under the books. I think the whole thing is going to be, and I'm loading up, that if we do come back, we gotta get Bryce Young's contract off the books. We get Bryce Young. We figure that out a little bit. Maybe trade him. Styles, I'd like to keep Husky as well. It makes it a lot more easier to attain them and retain them. Just to show you guys mid-season. Zach Taylor got these boys humming. So at the end of year number 5, Super Bowl or bust time. We go 12-5. Not our best record. And something that I remember from our Bengals rebuild. Take a look at our ratings. Second in points. We're not foreign to that. Look at the yards. Right? Look at T-Mac. 1,800. So I was expecting an explosion. But our Bengals teams during those rebuilds, it felt like no matter what we did on defense, the ratings sucked. I have a theory. My theory, could be crazy, is that the Bengals playbook, Zach Taylor now being here, his offense is so efficient throwing the football that your defense is on the field a lot more than like in a regular sim game. Like you score faster, you score quicker, so there's just more opportunities for your defense to struggle. And that means, it's not terrible, but we're in the 20s. Our defense has been almost top 10 when we didn't have this high-pace offense. But I feel like maybe this is not an indication that our defense sucks. I think it might be more of an indication that our defense is on the field a lot more. Look at what happened. Yep. Zach Taylor is a wizard. Not human. We get 5,200 yards, 40 touchdowns. Now, 16 picks kind of sucks. Like, that actually might hold back Bryce Young from, getting a late dev trade. That is a lot of interceptions. But also, if I'm going to get the good of changing a scheme last year, there should also be the bad of, we're telling Bryce Young to throw it more than he ever has. There's got to be more interceptions. So I do like the realism of the fact that if we're going to take this big step forward passing the football, Bryce Young's still kind of Bryce Young. Middle of the mall, he's got to turn the football over. Running the football, you don't love the yards, you love the touchdowns. I will take 17 touchdowns every day of the week. Receiving, T-Mac, Ryan Wingo, both go over 1,000. Ladies and gentlemen, I might just have to look every year for Zach Taylor in my rebuilds. Because we did it realistically. I can't force fire anybody. I've done this approach for all of our realistic rebuilds. I don't think I've ever had a chance to hire Zach Taylor. He may just save this rebuild. But man, oh man. Let's go. Where's that been? Defensively, yeah, a lot more tackles have been on the. Look at that. Whoa, okay, let's respect that year. Sonny Styles and Sammy Brown, both outstanding. We got 18 sacks, Umai Milan, 10 from Derek Brown, 6.5 Sammy Brown, 6.5 Scouton, 6.5 Brian Breezy. Solid. Shout out Umai Milan, playing like freaking Julius Peppers. INT numbers, solid. Still couldn't get Bryce Young in the MVP conversation, but top 5, respectable. Ooh, T. Stevens stops our hat trick of Coach of the Year awards for Mr. Canales. We do get Offensive Player of the Year and Wide Receiver of the Year to Tetairoa McMillan. There we go. Our X Factor, Sammy Brown, trying his best to emulate Luke Kuechly, gets Linebacker of the Year for our X Factor. Now, because this is year 5, let's take a look at our player stats, what they've been accomplished in this rebuild. Man, oh man, I wish we had Zach Taylor from the beginning. Who knows where, especially T-Mac's stats would be at. But Bryce Young, we're at 25,000 yards passing, 178 touchdowns and 71 picks. He's been fine. I think that's the fairest way to say it. He's been fine, hasn't hurt the team in the regular season, but more of a passenger than a leader. Running the ball, Jonathan Brooks obviously took over, has been part of a committee, 2,600 yards, 41 touchdowns. 17 touchdowns this year, though, was pretty badass. T-Mac at 6,000 yards receiving, 58 touchdowns through 5 years. Jalen Coker's been very solid. Ryan Wingo's been solid. Stowers has also been solid. Defensively, we got over 700 tackles from Morig, 500 tackles for Derek Brown, 61 sacks, Umai Milan, 48.5 sacks on 80 TFLs for Derek Brown, 43.5 for Scouton. Those guys are studs. Really, really happy with how the pass rush numbers, this whole rebuild, have gone for this Panthers team. Horn Dog, 22 picks lead in the rebuild. So up first, we get the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. It's a little divisional rivalry here in the Wild. I mean, 2 really good offenses. I do remember on our Bengals rebuilds, like pulling teeth, trying to win games with this offense. Let's see. Well, I mean, we're the home team. That should be the tiebreaker. 2 really good offenses. Home team should get the advantage. Divisional rivalry. I'm not too worried about Tampa. They're not a team that's a powerhouse by any means. Come on. Oh, my God. Come on. For once, can we get a sweat-free win? Just a convincing lead throughout. There we go. Pilot it on. Again? Field goals. I brought in a guy to get no field goals. Nice win. Should have been more belt to ass. 23-10. There we go, Bryce Young. Let's see the stat line. It'll be like 50% completion percentage. So, there we go. Zach Taylor, the quarterback whisperer, got Bryce Young playing great football. Over 300 yards, 2 touchdowns, no picks. T-Mac, 110, 2 touchdowns. Stowers, over 100 yards. Defensively, Sonny Styles with a sack. 2 TFLs, a half sack from Sammy Brown. Complimentary football. Great job. Honestly, outstanding job by the defense. That's pretty much a top 5 offense for Tampa that we held at 10 points. All right, we get a rematch from our year 3 divisional round loss to the Rams. Rams are hosting us. They have a 90 overall team. We're in the same rebuild. That's gonna be tough. This is not a good matchup. You know what? Right before the game, I'm gonna give myself a mulligan. One time I can hop in. That is because this Rams team's a super team. There's not too many times we're in year 5 of a rebuild, and there's a team that we run into that's been rebuilt better than us, and that is exactly what the Rams have done. So there will be. I'm gonna give myself one guilt-free. This is a goddamn super team. They need my help. And it's gonna be right here because we just went in the fucking red zone and got 0. We must just be going for it. We should almost be slow simming. What are we, like 4th and goal, running it up the middle? What is going on here? Oh, we got T-Mac. Boom! Oh, it's Wingo, sorry. Go ahead, score. Let's go. Tied up at 17. Everything to play for in the fourth quarter. Oh, what a drive. 14 straight points. Didn't even need my help. I wouldn't act like I helped Spark, but I think that's the only time I'm going to be guilt-free cash in when there's a... Credit to the Rams. I've built a super Panther team, and they're still better. Push comes to shove, though. I like our scheme a little bit more. 373 yards, 3 touchdowns, no picks for Bryce Young. Brooks gets the rushing touchdown. Look at that. 155, 2 tutties. Wingos. Coker gets in the end zone as well. Defensively, couple half sacks. Derek Brown with a good showing. Let's go, boys. In the NFC Championship game, we get the Green Bay Packers at Lambeau Field, an iconic place for what could be an iconic NFC Championship game. Green Bay solid offensively, a top 10 defense, third against the pass. So it's kind of good on good. Our passing attack versus their passing defense. Super Bowl on the line. Let's see, man. Shock the world. I can't hop in. I could justify hopping. We're going against that Super Rams team. This year needs to be us figuring it out. On the road, hostile environment. Zach Taylor. Bryce Young. We need that Bryce Young Alabama magic. Yikes. I mean, it's been a minute since we've lost a rebuild. Brutal, man. Oh, it pains me to put the big L in my little notebook here. It's been a minute since we've been unable to win it. I mean, I do think now with our new offensive scheme, as long as he doesn't get poached, we got that new quarterback. That is the path forward. Oh yeah, I forgot they got the superstar rookie quarterback, who's fucking going to the Super Bowl in his first year. We should have just, traded Bryce Young right then and there and went with that rookie quarterback. This was, nothing. The offense didn't play good. Defense didn't play good. But silver lining is I think we got the right scheme when we come back here and revisit this. And we have options at quarterback. And we were due, man. It's been 5 rebuilds since we've been unable to win a Super Bowl. So it was inevitable now that we're getting the playoff teams. Some of these teams were going to underperform. This one's frustrating because before we made the scheme change, I had a lot of green ratings. Like, we had top 10 offense, top 10 defense with Dave Canales, right? And then we make the Hail Mary to go and bring in overpowered passing offense. Still isn't a fucking nut. I don't know necessarily what the winning combo is here. I do think I got to at least peek this dev trait. I know what we're dealing with when we come back. Mr. Carlos Carter. I mean, it's just, okay, that's kind of a wet fart, knowing that literally there was no difference really between him and the other quarterback than it being a superstar. Oh, that would have been sick. But we have an option there. So I wonder if we could shift Bryce Young's contract off, which would be next year. That frees up a lot of salary cap. We go with the rookie quarterback. We get him in that offense. That's probably going to be a couple dev traits there. T-Max playing his best football. Optimistic. There's definitely been some L rebuilds where I have no idea what to do. I think we have a pretty clear plan when we revisit this. And it'll probably be one of the top teams I want to revisit first, because I think we could move a couple pieces around and have this thing ready and go in to win a Super Bowl. But unfortunately, hey, again, you need the L's to appreciate the W's. If they're all wins, gets a little fishy, gets a little suspicious, gets a little unrewarding. So we will come back and revisit this challenge at a later date. What I need you guys to do is let me know in the comment section below which team you want to see rebuilt next. I'm probably gonna, I don't know, there's gonna be another rebuild out before the playoffs start. What's the first playoff? Is there a game on Friday? There's one on Saturday. Is there one on Friday, 2 on Saturday, 2 on, whatever. Soon as teams start losing in the playoffs, that's probably going to be the order that I go in. I don't want this to be foresight that Carolina's going to for sure lose. But, if there's anyone outside of that we still have yet to rebuild. Seattle, Rams, 49ers, Bears, Packers, Broncos, Chargers, Texans, Jags, Bills, and Patriots. Let me know in the comment section below. If it is your first time stopping by, don't be afraid to hit that subscribe button. Smash the like button if you enjoyed. Until next time, your boy C4 saying peace. I love you. Have a good one. Planning on having the next rebuild is going to be, I'm going to finish out our Raiders series. I'm going to take over that Raiders team, our main channel Raiders team, and we're going to go probably like 10 years in the future, see what happens with all those guys and that team. That's probably going to be our next video, and the plan will be, okay, let me look right now. Make sure there's not a football game on Friday. If there's no NFL playoff game on Friday, no, it's on Saturday. Yeti's off-season stream Friday. That is going to be the plan right now as of what they say, Tuesday. So we'll hammer in the finalize that details. Plan right now, Yeti's off-season stream on Friday, so we can get into year 3 of that. Raiders series wrap-up rebuild will be coming out this week. And yeah, thank you. And I am going to start working on college stuff. College football 26. I want to do a Gators rebuild, all the new teams, all the moving pieces. I don't know how it's going to work because obviously, like the transfer portal, like the guys that are actually signing the portal, that is honestly right there, just rambling at the end of a video, why I don't like playing college football as much as I like playing Madden. There's just so many things that are restrictive into a roster and stuff like that. That's like, it hurts the ability to be creative while following a sense of realism, which is kind of what I do here with Realistic Reels. To get creative, but we use realistic players, we can do realistic trades, realistic records. Can't really do any of that in college football, so it kind of hurts the motivation there. But I do plan on doing college football rebuilds as well, so make sure you stay tuned for that. Until next time, it's your boy C4 saying peace and love ya. Have a good one.